So this field of awareness that doesn't accumulate, that only is moment to moment, is actually the one living life. But our social image, our personality, our ego, our identification with ourselves gets in the way of that. And our social image, personality, ego is just accumulation of thought. There's nothing new in it. It's a bunch of stuff you've gathered, and intentionally, unintentionally, through what you and I call experience. It's really not experience, it's interpretation of experience. Right? If you really take a good look at what we call experience, I have experience in business. I have experience in listening to people. Well, the more truer sentences, you have interpretations of experience. You have absolutely zero experience. Because you as an individual cannot experience reality. It's impossible to experience reality. You can only experience reality as an interpretation. Think of, this is one of the examples I often use with my clients is, think of a car crash that happens, right? Think of two cars that get into a crash. And then an ambulance arrives, and a firefighter truck arrives, and the police arrive. Every single person involved in that accident is going to have a different interpretation of that accident, a different reality. This person will say it's that person's fault. That person will say it's this person's fault. The ambulance will say it's not that big of a deal. The police will say, oh no, don't touch anything. We've got this thing going on. Every single person has a different experience of that. Because they're experiencing interpretation. They're not experiencing the accident. If they were, everyone would have the same exact experience. Well, just like that, that's the social image meeting life. You're meeting it with interpretation. Should you get away from that? No, that's a different conversation. Not suggesting or inviting anybody to get away from it. Simply saying that if you're meeting life with who you think you are, you're going to be interpreting it. And there's nothing wrong with it. But if you have a loose relationship with your interpretations, meaning you don't believe them so much, then you kind of fall back, right? Oh, I'm interpreting life. Maybe this is not the way it is. It's the way it looks to me. Definitely appears this way. But maybe it's not this way. Well, now I'm more curious. Now I'm more open. And now I'm in the don't know space. I don't really know. Although it looks really like it's this way. Well, if I don't really know, there's awareness. Giving wisdom in the moment, because it only happens in the moment, and it guides you. Here's a nudge. Here's a whisper. Here's an invitation. And in my own personal experience, I have never, ever, ever had the experience of wisdom yelling at me or shoulding me. You should do this, or you should have done that, shaming me. It never shows up as chatter. It's always fresh invitation. Hey, Shenan, have you tried looking at this? Hey, Shenan, what about this way? Have you considered this? It's always an invitation. So that's one way of distinguishing between your own personal chatter versus wisdom. Wisdom is an invitation, always. It's gentle, it's pure love, it's always there. And most of us will try to look for that, but you really can't look for it because you're going to look for it with thought, right? How are you going to look for it? You have to be inside of your social image, then look outside of your social image. You can't, you're already in it. And that's, I think, personally, one of the reasons people have not really discovered this is because they look for it within themselves as an individual. But more and more, if we just step back from ourselves, I don't really know what's going on, but I'm considering looking. Right? I'm not going to believe my own stories and the meaning that my mind is making. Although I'm not rejecting it or denouncing it or judging it, just kind of doubt that what I'm thinking and seeing is actually real. Then wisdom will nudge us. It will invite us to look a certain direction. This thing called wisdom that everyone has been talking about for thousands and thousands of years is simply the highest order of knowledge available to mankind, moment to moment, and it's mysterious. It's just, you can't know the order of knowledge. You kind of just have to receive it. I've seen marriages be fixed. I've seen people become really loving individuals from hardened criminals. I've seen myself go through so much growth in this sense, not trying to make things happen.